So my account was just suspended. My Amazon account that does over $20 million a year was just taken down because of false IP complaints. These are some of the things that we face as Amazon sellers. There are so many different teams within Amazon, and we've been escalating our case through contacts that I have, escalating through to seller performance, through account health. I've been reaching out to Dharmesh, who's the head of the seller relations department, whatever that means. And yet, a case that my attorney and is super obvious to anyone with a brain that understands how trademarks work was denied, and then my account was taken down. So last year, we had a seller who makes a similar game to a game that we sell. So it'd be like we both sell T-ball sets, for example, right? They took down our listing with a false IP complaint a week before Cyber Monday and Black Friday. Now, the timing is obviously, intentional there. And it took us 2 weeks to get it back. So we missed a good chunk of very, very prime selling time. Now, we won the case because we pointed out that they were trying to enforce a logo mark that we don't use. Now, if you guys don't know how trademarks work, if you file a logo, which is two words smashed together that are very descriptive, like T-ball, right? And I make a logo that says T-ball together, right? I do not have the rights to the words T and ball. So therefore, it is not enforceable. As a matter of fact, when they tried to file a word mark, which is enforceable, it was denied because it's too descriptive, right? Now, there are a lot of issues with that because in order to have brand registry for the protections on Amazon, you need to have a valid word mark. They do not have one. So what happens sometimes is Amazon will give you brand registry when your word mark is pending if they think you'll get it. Someone lapsed in judgment. It did not get granted, but they still gave them the brand registry. They use that brand registry power to take down sellers like me falsely. Now, I talked to the owner of the account and I said, look, this is business. I will stop using those words even though I don't need to. And I did. I had a couple different renditions of artwork done. I changed instructions, and I had my team put in the extra effort, and I continued to sell the product. Obviously, the owner of this other company is still not very happy about it. A week before Prime Day now, they take us down again with a similar complaint, a counterfeit notice. Now, they claim it's counterfeit despite being my brand, my product, not using their trademark, their logo anywhere, and not even using the words anymore. Yet Amazon has sided with them. So I had to open a case and say, look, they're pointing to a logo that we don't use. It is our brand. And Amazon just keeps with this generic response of, can you show us, get a letter from the rights owner saying you have the right to sell this? I am the rights owner. I have the right to sell my own brand. What is happening? What are you even talking about? Okay, well, then I get a call from another guy in India from their health team saying, well, you need to create an invoice showing that you're giving an invoice for the products. I create an invoice. I have invoices because I work with factories, and I submit that. It's a denied. Again, another generic response. We need the rights owner to respond. Then I get a call from another guy in India saying, hey, you have to submit a licensing agreement between you, the trademark owner, with the factory, giving them the right to produce your goods. Okay, I produced that. It's denied. Okay, again, saying I need a rights owner letter. I write a rights owner letter from myself to myself saying I have the right to sell my product. Denied. I've escalated this through friends that I know at work at Amazon. I just had my attorney last week FedEx a legal opinion showing why to the legal department, showing why we're not violating any trademarks or any. This is such an easy and shut case. I have no idea what's even happening. Then finally, last week, they're like, oh, you changed your packaging. We didn't know that. I said, yes, I've been telling you I changed the packaging. So now I'm getting a seller health person telling me, that's in the United States, telling me, okay, well, let me work with seller performance to let them know you changed the packaging. So yesterday I said, well, have them do a bin check. Just have them take a picture of my product in the bins. You can see that in the inventory, the stranded inventory, that we're not using the same old packaging that had those words that we have the right to use. We have the right to use those words, but we still changed the packaging. And they went and still suspended me today. And then she calls me 2 hours after the suspension and says, yeah, I'm sorry you're going through this. This is pretty incredibly ridiculous. This is the most open and shut case I've ever seen, but I still have to work with them. Do you have the case ID for the bin check? And I said, no, I told you you could open a case for a bin check, or you could have them do a bin check. You didn't tell me to open one. And now the only case I can open is the request to get my account back. But you still agree that they're right when they're clearly not. So I don't know how to argue this anymore. I've done everything I possibly can. So now I'm going to lose over $10,000 a day profit with my account being down, when I could have a couple weeks ago preemptively filed a temporary restraining order in the courts. It would have cost me $15,000 to $20,000 to do so. But it probably would have prevented Amazon from taking any further action around my account, and I would have gotten my products back, which I've been losing close to $1,000 a day now already anyway. But I thought this was such a open and shut case. I've escalated it to everybody I know, and my account is still down. So I'm obviously extremely frustrated. I have to try to remain calm. The stress of this has been unbearable. Like I haven't been sleeping much. I got a warning from Amazon last week that I was hours away from being suspended, but I was told if I keep appealing or sending information or doing what they're asking or getting on a call with them every day, that I would not be suspended. And yet here I am suspended at the 11th hour of or 23rd hour, whatever the saying is, of getting this resolved. So I'm just venting my frustration for anyone that wants to know what we deal with as Amazon sellers. I don't know what I'm going to have to do legally, but clearly this has caused a significant amount of damage. The timing is clearly malicious for the filings of these fake IP complaints. And the response back from the guy that filed it from my attorney who talked to their attorney was, I gave the example of T-ball. He's like, yeah, if you want to just not use the word T anywhere, then we'll agree to remove it. But I'm not going to let you do that. Like, I'm not going to give you the rights to a generic word that everyone has the right to, that you clearly don't own and don't have the rights to. Like, I'm not going to give you that right. Now, just on principle, I'm going to lose a lot of money now. But clearly, their intent to bully and file these complaints, I think, will give us a really strong case. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't know what to do. I'm going to post this on all my socials and LinkedIn, and you guys can have feel free to tag anyone you know that works at Amazon or anyone that's in the press. But obviously, I have to do what I can to bring awareness to situations like this and the frustrations we face as Amazon sellers.